Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I did a little poll to see just exactly what kind of video you guys wanted to see, and I got probably the most overwhelming amount of requests for a contour and highlight video, my personal contour and highlight routine that I do pretty much, I would say, every day. I might change a few things here and there, but I'm going to give you the gist of what I do to really transform your face and make it really snatched and really just feminine or masculine, depending on where you place the contours and create the new features. Once I started contouring and once I learned how to really do it, like, I don't really go a single day without contouring or at least bronzing. If you want to know how I chisel my cheeks, my 25 head to a 5 head, please keep on watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel because you know you want to. Give this video a thumbs up, share it to the world, share it to the children. I'm a little struck right now by my lights because they're really bright and really beautiful. I'm really excited actually to finally have this film setup done. I do have a bit of a base on. I did this off camera just to save time a little bit. I put on foundation. The foundations I used, in case you're wondering, I mixed the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation with the Clinique Stay Matte Oil-Free Makeup Foundation. I buffed it in with my Mikasa F200 brush, which is a new brush for me I'm trying out, and so far I really like it. This is what I do first, and you don't have to have like foundation on to contour, but you should have something on, honestly, like either a primer or like a BB cream or a tinted moisturizer, or even I know some people will just take a little bit of powder and just sort of press it over their face, because I feel like the contour powders kind of just need something to like stick to, you know what I mean? Like going onto bare skin, it's not like prepped in any way. It's gonna kind of make it more likely to appear very blotchy or just sort of not stick to your face at all, depending on what kind of skin you have. So I just think it's important to do just something, you know? You don't gotta do like a full shebang, but if you're gonna do this, you should definitely prep your skin. This is I would highlight the NYX HD Concealer. I'm sure some of you know this is the concealer I ride or die for. It's just so beautiful and brightening. It has like a very fair amount of coverage. It's not the fullest of coverage, but you can definitely build it up. So for those of you who have like darker circles, you can definitely use it too. It just really makes the under eye look so beautiful. So I'm going to take this over on my high points. So that's going to be in the center of the forehead, on the under eye area. Here I sort of like to make a little triangle on my face personally. You don't really have to do this if your face is sort of like, what's the word? This sort of like elongates your face. If you have a really long face already, you don't really have to do this, like this part, but you definitely want to do your under eye, you definitely want to do your forehead, you probably want to do your chin, which have like a quadruple chin or something. And then what I do is I'll blend it out with a brush that's totally in front of me. What are you talking about? I'm so prepared, you guys, always. I'm ready. I'm actually ready. Okay. Honestly, day to day, if we're talking day to day, I will use a brush for this because it's quicker. I do like to use a beauty blender, like this Real Techniques one. It's dirty as shit, pardon me. Real Techniques sponge or beauty blender, and I'll apply like a larger amount if I have like it's a little more time to get ready and really just buff that in. But honestly, for a day to day, I apply a smaller amount like this, and then I use this Real Techniques brush. This is actually a contour brush, but I do what I want, so I use it for concealer. It actually works very well for concealer. Actually, I think I like it better for concealer than for contour. And normally I would have eyeshadow on at this point, but if you don't do your eyeshadow before your base, you could actually take some of this concealer on your eyelid and sort of prime your eye a little bit. Or if you don't do eyeshadow, you definitely want to do this anyway because it'll just make the rest of your makeup make a little more sense. Yeah, I like to do patting motions under the eye because I have pores and I want to really make sure I get it as filled in as possible. You can kind of see. the dimension I'm creating. Now, here's the thing about foundation. Sometimes I used to do this a lot, but even now I do it a little bit. I use a foundation that's not quite my skin tone, maybe a little shade darker, like a few shades darker. When you highlight and contour, you can actually get away with using like a foundation that's slightly off, because adding dimension to your face will sort of compensate for that and make it look more natural. And I actually like to use foundations a little bit darker because it sort of makes my highlights pop more. Today I think I actually matched myself like a normal person, not a savage. If you like to use creams, you could do cream contour, but I don't do that day to day, so I'm going to now apply powder to my face to set everything. I take my Coty Airspun powder, because it's great. It's also right here in front of me. Tap off the excess, and just pat in. Now I'm actually going to sort of not use this on my high points, because I'm going to use a different powder for that. A brightening powder. This is like a setting powder. Just gonna make my foundation stay a little bit more in place. Then I'm going to do some highlighting powder. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do anything. You could just, you know, stay in your bed and cry all day. But if you want, you can use a highlighting powder. What highlighting powder do I have? This is a little Z palette full of a bunch of raunchy ass colors that I use a lot, clearly. And right here, this white is a powder called MAC Pro Emphasize from MAC Cosmetics. And this is very good if you're fair like me. It really is good at brightening a little bit further. I like to sort of reinforce my highlights with powder, which is why I'm using this powder on my high points. It has a slight sheen to it as well, so it just really sort of like catches the light and just really like brightens everything. I'm just gonna go in with a lot of some extra. Now I use a lot of powder because I'm very oily, so my face can take a lot of powder. If you're really dry, you're gonna want to go. I think you should use some powder, but you shouldn't use that much, and you should be careful not to have powder that's too mattifying, because it can make your skin even drier. Now we're ready to actually do what you're here for, which is contour. Well, first of all, let me talk about the difference between contouring and bronzing. Bronzing is when you take sort of like a warmer tone powder, like for example, in this Ulta Beauty kit, this guy right here would be considered a bronzer. Very like warm, and it sort of just warms your complexion, gives your face the appearance of like it has sun on it, and just gives a very loose dimension to your face, if that makes sense. Contour, however, is a little more on the cooler tone side, and the purpose of contouring is to sort of create a shadow where your face shapes actually look different. To contour, my absolute favorite product is the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. And I mean, if you don't believe me, this is what she looks like. I have a ridiculous love affair for this palette. Now, first of all, I will say you can use these two powders to highlight the way I did with the MAC powder. I do like other contour powders. I'm going to show you some others, but I'm still yet to find one, you guys, that's honestly as good. What's also great about palettes like this is that they give you a nice range of colors, and you might be like, well, I only need like one, right? Why do I need a whole palette? Well, it can be good if you like don't know your contour color or you want to try to figure it out, because I mean, it could be one of these three, but you could also mix them all together, because it's not just about like what's lighter or what's darker. It's about like what some contours work better people because they're cool toned and they really like create a shadow, but then some people can't use contours that are too cool toned because it makes them look really muddy. If you have warm tones, you want to stay away from like contours that are too super cool, because that's going to pull like really muddy and too gray. Whereas your cool tone, you want to go for more cool toned contours. Personally, I use a mixture of these two because I am warmer, but I still want to like not be too warm and create a shadow. I mix this cooler one and this more neutrally one, and it gives me a really nice shade. Use one of two brushes. This is a Morphe M523 brush. I'm gonna take, these are pigmented, so I take like one dab of each. I suck in my cheekbone so that I know where to place it. It's gonna be somewhere between, it's gonna be different, a little different for everyone, but somewhere between the top corner of your ear I just don't want to take it, almost flick it upward and really follow your cheekbone. And you want to blend upward. And you can almost see the difference of how much more sucked in this looks. This side and this side. Do the same thing to the other side. So again, top of the ear, around like maybe here. You want to bring it all the way down because it's going to make it look really clownish. You want to take it, if you want to do a clown look though, then do it. That's what a lot of drag queens do. You take it all the way. But for every day, you probably don't want to do that. Stop it right in the middle. Make sure you don't go too low because that's going to kind of defeat the purpose. It's going to sort of make your face look wider. Really, the best way to tell is just sucking your cheeks. Okay, you're going to be able to tell where your cheekbone is. And you want to go just underneath it. You want to place the brush just underneath it and sort of blend upward into your cheekbone. If you don't want too much of a line, which a lot of people don't like, you can use a brush that's more like this. This is a BH Cosmetics number 13 brush. This will sort of buff out the contour a little more. And you know, I should have done one on each side, but I didn't. I'm gonna sort of, I like to build up my contour sometimes. I'm gonna build up my contour a little today, so I can sort of show you how I would use this brush. So I do the same thing. Take a little of each, tap it, and go in the same motion. We're just gonna make the contour more blown out. You can sort of see it's a nice shadow, but it's not like too muddy. I have warm tones, so I definitely prefer my contour to be a little more neutral as opposed to too cool. But that's gonna, again, depending on your skin tone, change. So also, if you have a really, really, really deep skin tone, whereas like this darkest powder right here won't even be dark enough for you, it's gonna be difficult to find a contour powder. So here's my suggestion. You're gonna wanna go particularly light with your highlight. Reason being is your contour powder is probably not going to be that much darker than your skin tone. So in order to compensate for that, you want to create the dimension by making it now not too light. You want to put like white out on your face if you're a really dark skin tone, obviously. But something like with my concealer, I took it like 1 or 2 shades lighter, but you might want to do like 3 or 4 shades lighter to sort of try to get that same dimension, because it's difficult for darker skin tones to really find a contour that's dark enough for them. The opposite also holds people who are really light in skin tone. It's difficult to find a highlight that's too light for them. I'm going to do the forehead now. I'm going to actually use this brush. You can use either one. So again, I take one of each, tap it out. I'll start in the temple area, and then I'll sort of circle it in to like the forehead itself. Probably do 2 rounds of this. No, actually, if you have a really small forehead, you don't really have to contour your forehead. Like, people think that they contour the forehead, but like their forehead's so small, it's like it's not really necessary. I definitely want to contour my forehead, for sure. So that's what I'm gonna do. Blend it in, make sure it's really well blended into the temples. Now you can contour other parts of the face as well. Now I'm going to do, sometimes your contour might look a little not as even or might go too low or too high. I'm going to show you some tricks on how to fix that, and I'll show you on each side. So for this side, what you can do is take a loose powder. I'm going to take the Coty Airspun again. And you can sort of take some powder and this is baking basically. I'm going to bake underneath. Get a lot of powder on there and leave it for like maybe a minute or two, wipe it away, and it's going to make the area look a lot sharper. You can also do the same thing with more like highlighting powder. Like I'm actually going to dip into these two ones mixed together. Maybe scrunch the brush a little bit if it's more out like this, you get more precision. And just go under it. That. And that's kind of the more natural way. You can see like right away it sort of melts into the skin. So these contours are a little more defined. Don't have to do this, it's just an extra step if you want more definition, if you want to clean things up. It's a little helpful tip, so you don't have to feel like you have to like blend forever or start all over or something like that. And I'm going to wipe this away. I'm going to use this brush right here. You're going to see has a similar sort of result. Sometimes I like to sort of blend over the forehead a little bit more to get it more blended together. So I'll take the highlighting powder and my pro emphasize and sort of press it over top. Just make sure everything's more blended. And you could do a little back and forth. I want to show you my like complete face, actually, because why not? I can. So what I would do at this point is apply some blush. For blush, I like to use my Morphe B78, I believe, the name totally scratched off. I use this brush like it's my job. It's not here at Blush for blush. I'll take a darker blush, like this. This is Red Vino by Milani. This is a really nice blush if you have really dark skin tones, by the way. If you're looking for a really nice, affordable good blush from the drugstore, this is a great one. It's really nice. There's little gold flakes in it, so it gives a really nice luminous glow as well, which I know a lot of you are here for. For me, because it's dark and I'm light, I don't want to put it like right here. What I will do is actually sort of take it, maybe like 2 dabs, and almost sort of follow my contour, going slightly above it. It's a little dramatic, but that's what Mama likes. I'm going to take another blush. This is another blush by Milani called Lizioso Pink. And this I'm going to put where you would like normally put blush, which is like on the apples of your cheeks. These blushes don't look like they work all together. They really do. I also like to sort of do to bring back color to my face. Actually take a little bit, put it on my nose. Now if you're looking for nose contour, honestly, I don't really contour my nose that much. Not that I can't do it, I just don't. But if you like to see a nose contour video, I'm absolutely fine with making a separate video. I just kind of want to show you guys what I do, and then hopefully you'll learn something from it, you know? And you know, if you put a little too much blush, a good trick, which I kind of did on my nose, take some of your powder just over it. I know this looks insane, like I'm putting so much powder on my face, but guys, trust me. Like, the government is planning to dig on my face for oil next week. That's how oily I am. So I can take it. Who wants to do some highlight? I know I do. For highlight, I'm going to share with you guys another really great product that I love. Physicians Formula Highlighting Palette. So why this palette is great, it really contains any highlighting color, any natural highlighting color, or like if it's a color, it's not like an unnatural color that you would need for any skin tone. Like you can see right here, we have really light colors for really fair people, and then we also have really like bronzy and deep colors for really darker skin tones. So it's golden shaded here. Because they're so close together, you can very easily mix them and create a custom color, but at the same time they stay really separated and don't like meld together. It's just a really great product. It's so tiny, like it's really easily portable. This is like the most ideal highlighter if you're a makeup artist and are traveling. Like you just get any highlight done with this palette. Like, love is an understatement with this palette. My favorite highlighting brush is actually a concealer brush because I'm just too edgy. I like to break the rules. This is an e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush. Puts in highlight great. It does work well with concealer. I've tried it for that. Because I have a lot of pink going on my cheeks, I'll sort of mix, like, maybe like this row, go back and forth once, and then sort of go right there. That's really going to give us a nice glow. I'm going to go really on the top of the cheekbone, so when you turn, beautiful sheen. You can even take a little bit more of like a lighter shade and just go like on the apple. Dimensional highlight. Just gonna go all the way because I can. Then I'm gonna take down the bridge of the nose, up here on the cupid bow, and on the chin. I don't even have to do this. You can just do that. You don't have to do any highlight. It's totally optional, but it's just so much fun. It's very intense. Now, I know this is very intense highlight and contour makeup, but this is honestly like how I do my makeup. There's nothing natural about me. So hopefully you still learned something from watching this video, and it was a total waste of time. I want to give you guys some alternative options besides the Kat Von D palette, and this will work if you're fair, medium, or deep skin tones. The company Makeup Geek, I don't know if you guys heard of it, they make really affordable eyeshadow pans, $6 each. They also have some contour powders. I don't know how good those are. I've heard good things, but you can try those as well. They have a nice service for your shades, but not all of these shadows here are Makeup Geek. Some of them are. The one I would use for a contour is this one right here called Barcelona Beach. It's very cool toned. They have a really nice amount of pigment. They blend really well. Even though they're eyeshadows, you can definitely cheat and use them on your face. And that's just a good tip in general. Like, you can find a good quality eyeshadow and use it as a contour. And like, eyeshadows will tend to come in like really a wider range of colors, you know what I mean? Like, there'll be really light ones and really dark ones. So if you're having trouble finding contour powder because you're too dark, you might just be looking in the wrong place, and really good eyeshadow might actually do the job for you better. I'm not giving people an excuse to not have a diverse enough range shades of contour powders. They definitely should. We need more diversity in shade ranges in general. It's a huge thing in the makeup industry. Companies are getting better, some are better than others, but there's still a lot of work to be done. But that's one thing you can do to sort of rectify the situation for the moment. MAC Cosmetics makes really nice contour powders as well. This is the All the Right Angles contour palette. This is actually Pro Emphasize, so I have two of them. And then this is the shade Bone Beige. It's very light. They have these kits, if they still make them. I'm not sure, they might have been limited edition. In light, medium, and deep, so you can get different shades. This one's in light, because I'm pale as fuck. It also comes with a little cream highlighter, if you like cream highlighters. So, it's a really nice little guy. The contour powder isn't quite as pigmented as the Kat Von D, but something that's better. Sometimes you don't want a contour powder to be too pigmented because you want to be able to really build it up and not go too harsh, because I know not all of you like these, you know, sculpted, cut in half cheekbones. So that could be good for you. Another contour powder I really like is actually a blush, the NYX Blush in Taupe. Make really nice blush formulas. And a lot of people who are really fair like to use this as contour. I would say I've tried others. Some I didn't like that much, some I'm iffy about. I would say those are my best recommendations to you for contour powders. I'm going to really quickly do the rest of my makeup off camera to show you guys a complete full-fledged look, and I'll be back soon. Bye. Alright. So this is the finished look. It's honestly, I just kind of threw it on my face because it's late and I can't go to bed. I'm going to take this off right after. If you like anything you see, I'm going to have every single product I used listed below, along with all the products I mentioned in the video listed below. Don't forget to hit subscribe to my channel if you like what you see. Leave some comments, give me some nice feedback. I'm very new here, so I definitely am at the stage where I definitely appreciate constructive criticism. If you guys like this, don't like this, feel free to speak your mind nicely. Be nice. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.